Hello, it's Phil Thatch, and Heather and I are in downtown Chattanooga tonight, and we are just goofing around with this vintage 1988, I think, 35 to 135 push-pull zoom, just ancient Nikon lens from back in the day of film cameras. I've been watching a guy named David Saylors, the Georgia photographer's YouTube channel, and he adapts a lot of vintage lenses to his Fuji X-T3 and other cameras. And so I went out and found my own vintage lens. I paid $29 for this thing delivered, and I'm gonna see how it and the FTZ and the Z6 can do making some photographs this evening. Okay, so sunset's in a little less than an hour, and so far I've been using mostly the 35mm end of this lens instead of the 135 or anywhere in between. I've got the Tennessee aquarium framed up now. I'd like to shoot straight at that aquarium sign, but it puts the aquarium not directly behind, so I'm kind of doing it at an angle. Let's see what we got here. I got the 5-second timer, 1/15 of a second, ISO 100, and f10 for this shot. I ended up shooting at f11 on this when I reshot it because the sky was slightly overexposed. Now, this is not the sharpest lens in the world, but I do like the color it produces. So I've been taking pictures of horses and weird steel art and buildings and all sorts of stuff. I've been using a tripod, a lot of a really small aperture to try to keep this $20 lens making sharp photos. And we're probably going to stay down here until dark, so we'll keep working on it. I own some of Nikon's very finest zoom lenses, all of the f2.8s in the Holy Trinity, and they will make beautiful shots wide open at f2.8, but this lens I shot it stopped down quite a bit to make sure that I was getting good results, and I'm pretty pleased with them. That's the Tennessee Aquarium IMAX Theater over there. It's another 35mm shot I've made here, f11 ISO 100, shooting from caddy corner across the street. I wouldn't describe this lens as tack sharp, but it's acceptably sharp, especially for $20. Okay, I'm gonna try out my new L bracket and do a vertical shot with a little less than 35mm involved. Watch this zoom, this is crazy. It's just a push-pull. I think I'm going to try to get a little more height on this shot. I guess my biggest complaint about this lens is the focus throw. It could be a little bit more precise. It's hard to tell when you're in focus good and when you're not in focus good. There's a Christmas tree just about a block down the road. It's not really a Christmas tree, it's just some lights strung up over a pole. So we're gonna try to get a shot of that, and then when it gets darker, I wanna come back and try to shoot this exact composition again. And we're also gonna shoot down, what is that, Market Street, honey?
Broad.
We're gonna shoot down Broad Street. Heather says that's Broad Street, and I'm sure she's right, from the top of that little bridge. So let's get to it. Well, I've discovered a flaw in the $20 lens. It will not focus on distant objects. Like, I had to get this close, which is, I'm still probably, what do you think, 50 feet?
Yeah, at least.
From that Christmas tree, but I had to get this close to get the Christmas lights in sharp focus. So that kind of limits it in its usefulness, but still, for $20, it's pretty useful, even though you can't focus on distant subjects. With this, I'm sure they're not all this way, but my $20 version, because you can get this lens on eBay for like 50 or 60 also, and those will probably be fully functional. Mine's nearly fully functional. So here is me and sweet Heather in front of that Christmas tree. This one is at 90mm, and that's the most zoomed in that I made a shot that night. The lens seems to perform better at the 35 end than the telephoto end, at least mine does. So that's why I stayed at 35 most of the night. Okay, so we're back here at the IMAX. It's sunset right now, but there's a lot of kind of splotchy clouds. And so I guess we're in blue hour right now. Boy, that truck was loud. And I really like this vertical shot. I'm close enough to get it in focus, even with this limited on long distance lens. And I'm shooting f/16 to kind of make sure that I've got enough depth of field to get it. And I like this shot with the old $20 35 to 135 vintage lens. So this is a 7-blade lens, so the stars on lights are 14 pointed, which I really like. I kind of prefer for stars 7-bladed lens even more than 9. And I just really like the results that this lens produces, even though they're not the sharpest in the world. Okay, so we're at the Tennessee Aquarium. There's the River Journey building on the left, and over on the right is the Ocean Journey. And this bridge is supposed to be shaped like the mountains that are in the distance. And we're up on the top of it, and it looks straight down Broad Street.
Yes.
And this is a shot I've made years and years ago, and I haven't done it in a long time. And I thought, while I'm here with the old $20 lens, this would be the time. I'm just shooting straight down the center of Broad Street. Got it focused as best as I can, and we're doing 8-second exposures. ISO 50 using the extended mode, and f/18. I love these clouds tonight. So I think the lens focuses better at long distances at 35 millimeters than it does at the telephoto end. And this is another example of the lens, while not being extremely sharp, it produces really beautiful results. I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but it sure makes pretty pictures. Okay, so we made a bunch of those, and had a good time playing around with the $20 lens on the Z6, ancient lens on a very modern camera. That was a lot of fun. Heather has been working the camera the whole time, so she hasn't been in this, but thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.